Hi, I'm Lance.
And I'm Jenny.
And we're Crazy Empty Nest.
In this video, we're going to tackle the debate of hotels versus Airbnbs and which one is better based on price, the amount of time you're spending somewhere, amenities, and a whole bunch of other different things.
And be sure you stay tuned to the end of this video because we're going to show you two amazing travel hacks that's going to help you save hundreds, if not thousands, on whichever one you want, a hotel or an Airbnb, during your next vacation or stay.
When considering price, Airbnbs usually win across the board.
Yeah, I think generally everywhere we've stayed, it seems like Airbnb tends to beat out hotels when it comes to just the price factor. And I think now maybe you could look at, some places like maybe staying at a hostel or going like super budget, I don't know, like couch surfing or something. Maybe you could probably beat out Airbnb, but just for a normal general accommodation, I would say in this category, Airbnb wins, especially when you start talking about the length of time you're staying anywhere. I think the longer you stay somewhere, the more Airbnb tends to be more cost effective.
However, when considering hotels, you can earn points, you can get free upgrades and free stays, whereas Airbnb, that's not usually possible.
Yeah, so I think if we just look at the price factor alone, when it just comes to price, I would say Airbnb has the advantage and wins here. However, there are some other things you need to consider when you're comparing hotels with Airbnb. Okay, next we're going to talk about location. So when it comes to locations, typically hotels are going to occupy the prime real estate. So, if you're going to like an island or a beach place or something like that, or Disney World or one of that, hotels is going to be there right there in the middle of all the action, in the middle of the nightlife, right on the beach type of thing. So the hotels are going to have that prime real estate, and then hotels also tend to be clumped all together. So you're going to have a bunch of hotels all together. So you're going to be around other tourists, other foreigners. Everybody's kind of having the same kind of communal experience, if you will, when you're just looking at location for hotels.
Right, and when considering Airbnbs, you can be probably more private, maybe a little ways away from that, so it's a little more peace and quiet many times, and then you're more immersed in the flavor and the flair and the authenticity of the local life and the culture a little bit more, so sometimes I really like that. And I know that we tend to really like getting an Airbnb that's kind of close to the touristy area, the beaches, it's just a walk from the beach still, or the nightlife, but not right in it. So we kind of get the best of both worlds that way.
Yeah, so I think this one's kind of a toss-up. This really depends on how do you like to travel. Do you want to be like at the center of all the action, or do you want to be more immersed in the local culture type of thing? Or this could change based on where you're going and what your experience. I think sometimes we want to be the center of the action. Other times we're like, all right, we need to get some work done, or we want just a little bit more peaceful stay. We might want to choose that more authentic thing. Or something I just thought of in doing this, if you're trying to learn a local language, maybe you want to be more immersed in the local culture, or the traditions and things. And so maybe the Airbnb would be an advantage there. But it really depends. It depends on how you like to stay and what your personal preference is and what your objective for that vacation or that trip might be.
Right. Next, we're going to talk about space, and as you
Elon Musk
probably know, like most hotels, it's a single room, and whereas Airbnbs, you can all have your own room, you can have a whole house, a whole yard, you have a lot more space. And wow, that would have been so nice. When we moved to Italy, we were stuck in a hotel with 2 elementary age kids, and we were a very close family, but there comes a time when everyone does need their own space. I mean, it's kind of hard to like send a kid to their room when they're being naughty or something, for example. It's kind of hard to have boundaries, or a love life for that matter. You're all stuck in the same room for a month or longer. And so Airbnb wins for space most of the time.
But I would say this too. So there are some hotels that are coming along that are making really good use of of shared common areas or shared community areas.
True.
So you can look at I've seen places where they may have a co-working space where you get to go and network and work with other people who may be digital nomads or doing things like that. You may have common spaces like gyms or fitness centers or places to grill, or places you can kind of congregate with other guests in the hotel. So I think in some ways too, hotels has kind of advantage here. It really depends on what you're looking at.
Right.
You're going to get more space, obviously, with having a whole house or a whole apartment or flat or whatever it is.
Right.
But hotels try to accommodate for this. But I agree with you, Jenny. I think when it just comes to space, everybody being able to spread out a little bit is definitely probably.
I was talking to my friend today who has a family of 6 and staying in a hotel. She stayed in a hotel with her family for a good part of the summer, or no, an Airbnb, and thank goodness, because staying in a hotel would have been kind of just a joke.
Yeah.
So
no, if you're
not fun.
If you're traveling solo or if you're a couple, this may not even be a factor. Well, I would say even as couples, sometimes we need some space. No, but seriously, I think it really becomes a factor where you're traveling with family, or maybe you're traveling as a group and things like that. So I think having more of that, bigger space sometimes to be able to spread out is a positive and more of an advantage.
Next, we're going to talk about amenities. So when you consider an Airbnb, you usually have a full kitchen. You can do a full meal. You have your pots, your pans, your oven, a table and chairs to sit at to have a meal with your family. Usually everything you need is there. Whereas hotels, most of them don't have a kitchenette. Some of them have a little tiny kitchenette where maybe you can have a little microwave meal, or like make a 1 cup of coffee in the morning, but that's about it. So in that case, Airbnb wins as far as kitchens go.
Yeah, but I would say what you see in a lot of parts of the country, especially outside of North America, is you're going to have hotels that maybe have either half board or full board. So most hotels outside of the U.S. give you an amazing breakfast included in the price, like a amazing spread with everything you'd ever want. That's just it's a given that if you stay at a hotel you're going to get that. That's half board. And then full board would be, I've stayed at some hotels where not only do you get breakfast, but you also get dinner as well. So you have to think about that. So those types of hotels that offer you half board or full board, you may be getting a couple of meals built into the price of your hotel stay. So again, if you're the person or you don't want to cook, or you don't want to have to deal with that, or you're not really into saving money by doing your own cooking or doing your own coffee, if you choose the hotel option, you may get full board or half board, and that might be the right choice for you. So I think the other thing you have to look at too is what's your purpose there? Are you there for vacation? Are you there for having fun? Are you there for business and networking or something like that? I think if you're trying to do business, or you're trying to network, or meet new clients or meet other like-minded people, then maybe the hotel option is the best, because that we've seen that with conferences or just getting together with people. The hotel tends to have that atmosphere where you can definitely meet new potential clients, other people that might be like-minded or doing the same type of business as you, which you can do that with an Airbnb too. I mean, you can all share an Airbnb, but I think just from a straight business, networking, looking for new clients type of thing, the hotel has been the tried and true way of finding people like that.
Right. On that note, I want to go over concierge service in hotels internationally is awesome. So you usually, when you show up, they'll take your bags. They have a complimentary drink sometimes for you. If you have any questions about where the best places to eat are, or where to, go for entertainment, they can help you with that. They have room service. They have turn down service. If you really want to be pampered and taken care of, your hotel's concierge service wins above and beyond over Airbnb.
Yeah, but I think that really depends on the hotel you go to, so you've got to check that out ahead of time. Do they have good service? Do they not? Because it varies from country to country.
Yeah. As far as internet goes, Airbnb is usually better because you're not sharing the internet, you're not sharing the bandwidth, and you have less of a chance of being hacked. It's more secure because you're not sharing that. Whereas in hotels, you are sharing with a whole bunch of other people in the same building. So think about if you're going to have like a Zoom call or be trying to upload a video, things like that. It's going to be harder to do because the bandwidth isn't going to be as good typically because of the sharing going on there too.
Yeah, so that's another one I think Airbnbs probably win too. So I think the other thing, when Jenny was talking about concierge, I was thinking too that a lot of Airbnbs now are doing these amazing extras, and this I think is really contingent upon the host you get, because not everybody does this. But we've seen some hosts at Airbnbs, like if you're staying near a beach, they put they might have a closet that's got like beach towels or life jackets or a beach umbrella, or they add just those little extra things that they know a guest would want when they're staying in that location. And I think those are really great. That's amazing. And I've actually seen some hotels starting to do this now too, where you can borrow things that you may want for your stay there. But I think, and this, again, I'd have to say that this is a depends, because it really depends on the host. But if you read the comments of the Airbnb, you know, you can get that host that really pays attention to details and puts those extras in there. Sometimes the Airbnb can really win out when it comes to just those little extra details that that you may want, depending on the location.
Just reminded me, actually, today I was talking to a friend who had an experience at an Airbnb this summer with her family of 6, and it was on a horse ranch. And of course, her kids, anywhere from age 4 years old up to, what's their oldest, 14.
Yep.
Got to take advantage of that and got to ride the horses and really get to know this family, the host family, and they got really close. And so that's something special that you can't usually get at hotels too. So it does depend on the host.
And I was just thinking too, that's like some unique stays too, like with an Airbnb. You can stay in a converted school bus or a tree house or an Airstream or a caboose by the river. Airbnb does offer those very unique stays that you're typically not going to get with a hotel. So, it really depends on what you're looking for, what type of adventure, what type of stay you're looking for. But you can see this is kind of, when it comes to amenities, there's just a lot of choices.
Right.
And it really depends on your preference, what you're doing, and really what you're looking for.
Another thing you're really going to want to consider when you're thinking about Airbnb or hotel is the length of stay, that you're going to be there. Because if you're going to do Airbnb, they offer discounts the longer you stay usually, and you're going to win out for price and cost as far as that goes. So the longer you're staying somewhere, the more I would probably encourage Airbnb. Whereas hotels, it's more of like a nightly rate, a set rate, and you're not going to get that advantage.
Yeah, and I think that goes down to what's the verdict here, which one wins. I really think it depends. It depends on what are you doing, what's your travel, what's your stay. Now, I would say, like, for us, the longer we're going to stay somewhere, we're probably going to go more to an Airbnb. Or, for example, for Christmas, we've got the kids coming, so we want more space, so we're going to go to an Airbnb. Now, if we're just like, we're going through Prague and we're only going to be there for 2 or 3 days, we just want the pampered experience, we're going to go with the hotel probably, right? It's going to be centrally located, concierge service. We're going to get that pampered stuff. We don't really have to take care of each other. So I think it really depends. I think we love both. And I think the length of stay and the type of activities and what we're doing there really plays a big factor in that.
And so doing that research, like I was thinking about some of the full board stuff you were talking about, and when they're offering full breakfast and dinner. So then, I would probably do some research, like what are the Airbnb costs in that area versus like free meals with the hotel. And doing that math might help too. Yeah,
exactly. So as promised, guys, we're going to give you 2 amazing travel hacks here on how to save a lot of money on your next stay. So the first one I want to show you is this travel hack on the discount travel site called Hotwire. So when you go to the discount travel site, Hotwire, the first thing you're going to be asked is, where do you want to go and what are the dates that you want to go somewhere? So when you punch those in, what you're going to see up in the top left-hand corner is what they're going to say is called the hot rate of the day. Now what this is this typically is a hotel that's going to be extremely discounted, sometimes 50, 60, 70, even 80% off. But the problem with this is they don't tell you what the hotel is. They give you the area, but you don't get to see like what the name of the hotel is. So it's kind of this guessing game of, do I take the discount and I don't know where I'm going to be staying, or do I go with something that's tried and true? Well, we found a hack that you can figure out which hotel this is, and then you can look and see, is this one that I'd want to use? So when you look at the hot rate of the day, what you're going to see is you're going to see some pictures and you're going to see the location it's in. So you want to remember first the location that it's in, and then you want to look at the ratings, okay? So what you're going to find is if a hotel has a rating of say 4.5, then you're going to look at what are all the hotels in that exact same area that has a 4.5 rating, okay? Then you want to pull those up in a new tab. Then what you're going to do, and here's the key to figuring this out, you're going to look at the other ratings and you're going to match the ratings up. So if a hotel's got a 4.3, a 4.4, a 4.6, and a 4.7, you're going to look for the hotel that has those exact same ratings. And so now 99% of the time when we've done this, when you match up all the ratings and the location, you're going to find that that is the exact hotel that's the hot rate of the day. We've also found that if you go in and you look through some of the pictures, you can actually find similar or the same pictures, and so then you know you have the right hotel. So that is the first travel hack, how you can save hundreds if not thousands. And some of these are really amazing hotels and resorts that you can save on, and just knowing that you're getting that great deal is sometimes that little extra, it gives you that little extra, you know, okay, this is a great deal, I want to book this, but letting you know what that hot rate of the day is. The second travel hack we want to talk about is when it comes to Airbnbs, you can actually negotiate prices with the host or the seller. So what we've done a lot of times is we find an Airbnb we really like, we reach out to that host over private message, and we say, hey, we want to stay here a little bit longer, or we're looking to doing some activity, we're looking to doing this, would you be willing to give us a break on the price if we book this for the next 30, 45, 60 days, whatever it may be. 9 times out of 10 the host is going to give you a discount, and you're going to save some extra money on that. So there you go, guys. 2 amazing travel hacks, depending on whether you want to do a hotel or an Airbnb. It doesn't matter. You can save on both of those by using those 2 travel hacks. Try them out for yourself. They absolutely work, and you can save a lot of money doing those. And as always, guys,
stay crazy.